ending the one that ended the lockdown. Or half the cases is still the same as it was when it started. Yeah, it was. It's the same as when it started. Remember, because me and you used to go for it every day. 621, 650, 600 again. Then it went to 4. Then back to 600. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. Exactly. So. Yeah, because they said he's got a meeting on Monday. He's got a meeting on Monday where he's going to address relaxing the lockdown. Obviously, how's it? So I'm thinking. Have you seen it? They've opened. You see everyone queuing up for KFC for like 5 hours. 5 hours. Is KFC that great? Not for 5 hours.
So really, can't wait.
Not for 5 hours. Oh, people queued up for Costa as well. You can just buy a coffee machine, yeah, and then you just buy a coffee machine, and that's it. We'll open back Five Guys as well. Was it me and you that went there, looked at the prices and left? Wasn't it? Yeah. About £11 for a burger. Like, you see, during the lockdown, it makes you realize what you can do with £11. £11. Let me pull up my notes. Give me 1 second. Let me just pull up my notes. All right, this is the I.S.U.P.K. started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. It's the I.S.U.P.K. Wednesday, low class. Also, remember, check out Commanding GEN.YAHANNA's radio show, The Black Watch, which is 2 a.m. Monday. And then we also have classes in the States, Tuesday through Friday. And there's classes here, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, 7 p.m. 209 B8 394 Lodge Road, B18 5PW. That's the location. Also, Sabbath service on the Saturday. And also here, we have the radio show on the ends, which is a Friday, 9 p.m. Log into that as well, man. We got some big things going on the radio show, man. Just come and check it out. It's on the Facebook and the YouTube. Yeah, so you can find it here, Friday, 9 p.m. You can find it here. And on Facebook. And today we're going into how these damn Africans have stole everything that black people near enough work for, man. Listen, man, you see before rapping was cool in the UK. Listen, we in the UK, a place where when British people rap with the accent, people used to laugh when this first started. People used to laugh at him, like, look at them London and Birmingham rappers' accent. So you had, in the beginning, who was it, like Mike GLC? You had Mike GLC, you had... Yeah, and you had, is it Swiss? You had Asher D. Was he one of the first as well?
Yeah, well, that's the first one that brought it to the top.
And then you had Channel U, where it was a ton of what? Benjamite rappers. Channel U with Chipmunk. Who else used to be around that time? Sway. Sway's a brother, right? Is he? The one that makes Little Derek?
Yeah.
Is that Mike? Is he? Oh, no way. I didn't even know. There's a reason why I asked about him specifically.
Was it borderline?
I had a feeling like it could be borderline. Bash is with Ham as well, isn't it?
No.
Bash is a brother.
Yeah,
I was thinking he's half and he looks half and half. So basically, these is brothers that started rapping in the UK. Started rapping when there was no money involved, when there was nothing involved. They rapped and rapped and rapped. They started it, and then now since labels started getting interested, they continued rapping. A few of them got paid a little bit. At the time that they was paying, it was good for a UK rapper. Who would you say is the richest out of them? Benjamin UK? Gigs. Probably Gigs was on a decent amount because he's been rapping for years. So now these men is pioneers of the rap game. They opened the door for rap music in the UK, which Benjamites, by the way. And then what happened? Now that there's money involved, who started to copy us? First of all, they started to be around us. These Hamites started to make it like we're all one. Started to say Wagwan. started to speak how we speak, then they slowly started to what? Dress how we dress. Then each day they will do something more that we do. Until now, they're trying to rap like us now. So who's getting paid all this rap money in the UK now? They're giving it to Africans like Jay Huss, Dave. The thing is this: Dave's a Hamite and he's rapping about going into slavery. When did he ever go into slavery? Dave's a Hamite and he's rapping about the slavery that we went in. These Hamites are so misinformed that now they're starting to believe that they're us, and now they only believe that they're us when they're struggling. But you see, once they make it, they realize, okay, I'm Nigerian, I'm Ghanaian, I'm from Zimbabwe. Now, in London, especially in London, not in Birmingham just yet, in London, women now are starting to like these Nigerian and Ghanaian men. It's not reached there in Birmingham yet. I mean, growing up, it was a shame to be African, man. Growing up, being an African was the most disgusting thing on the face of the earth. Right. It was so horrible to be African that Africans would lie and say that there was Jamaican. Listen, Africans would lie to my face and say that there was Jamaican. And I used to see their dad and be like, that don't sound like the Jamaican that I hear in my house. That didn't sound like the Jamaican that I seen in my house. These Hamites wanted to be us so bad, man. You know why? Because it wasn't cool to be African. Right. It was never cool to be African. Right. When Africans first came over here, they came over here with them sandals. I remember the time when Africans didn't use soap. There was a time when Africans didn't use soap, man. Now, they've been around us for too long. And us as Israelites, we're too welcoming to these other nations. Right. We've welcomed these other nations into our homes, and guess what's happened? Now they're starting to think they've overtaken us. Right. Now they're starting to think they're better than us. I heard an African man say, the power's changed hands, you Jamaicans need to get over it. He had the cheek to say the power's changed hands, you Jamaicans need to get over it. That's what he had the cheek to say, man. These Africans come here and steal our culture. And everything that we do, well, they copy our culture. And then they make out that they're better than us. But give me Genesis 10 and 1. Can we get Tazapon, you know? When it's ready, no, sir. Has it got the link? All right, no, sir. All right, so we're going to go to Genesis 10 and 1, man. Listen, man, this is why the Lord separated the nations for a reason. The Lord didn't want everyone coming together. And what happens is we let everyone join us. And then when they join us, what happens? They will learn from you. They will come all humble. And then what happens is they steal everything that you've worked for, man. Everything that you started off doing, they've stolen. Afrobeats now. Afrobeats artists get paid more than Jamaican artists now. Afrobeats artists is global and worldwide now. Whereas Jamaican artists ain't. Whereas Jamaican artists, soca and all these things set the trend, man. We put all these things on the map. Once upon a time, no one understood what Jamaican artists were saying, man. Unless you had what? Jamaican grandparents. Now, the whole world liked it. Then guess what happened? Burna Boy jumps on the wave now. Burna Boy, who's from Nigeria, talking patter in his songs, man. Listen, I can't stand Hamites, man. Burna Boy, WizKid, Davido. Give me some more of them Afrobeats artists. You don't know, you know them ones. I don't blame you. WizKid, Davido, you got Burna Boy, and these men think that they're running the world now, man. These men think that they're better than us now, and it's a sad thing to see, man. Meanwhile, we trying to love all these other nations. These other nations just steal everything that we've worked for, and they're getting paid off it. They're getting paid big time off it. Give me Genesis 10 and 1.
Genesis 10 and 1. Now these are the generations of the son of Noah.
Now these are the generations of the son of Noah. Go ahead. The sons of Noah. Go ahead.
Shem, Ham, and Japheth.
So Noah had 3 sons. Noah had 3 sons. Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And these sons had kids who became nations. And these nations wasn't never meant to be together. That's right. Afrobeats was never meant to be with Bashment, man. That's right. Burna Boy was never meant to be speaking patois, man. That's right. These Africans ain't never meant to be eating jerk chicken, man. Right. Listen, man. These Africans is stealing everything that we've worked for, man. Read on.
And unto them were born sons after the flood.
And unto them were born sons after the flood. Jump to verse 6.
Verse 6. And the sons of Ham, Cush.
And these are the sons of Ham, man. Read it again.
And the sons of Ham, Cush.
The sons of Ham, Cush is these African nations, man. Cush is what? The Ethiopians and the Somalians. And you mean to tell me Rastafarians think that we Ethiopian? We ain't Ethiopian, man. Rastafarians is misinformed, and I'm gonna show you later on why they're misinformed. I'm gonna show you why Benjamites love Hamites so much. And because we love them so much, we feel like we owe Africans something. You speak to a Benjamite, they feel like they owe Africans something. They feel like Hamites is superior to them, and they feel like Hamites is closer to God. Talking about Ethiopia's the motherland. Listen, man, it ain't the motherland. It's a damn lie, man. It's a damn lie, man. And Captain Parasha said, "Burn Boy ain't meant to be with Steph London." Damn right, he ain't meant to be with Steph London, man. He's meant to be with give me one of them African Miss Banks is Ham, right? He's meant to be with Miss Banks or something, man. He's meant to be with those kind of women. Instead he wants to be with our women, man. And listen, I'm telling you that relationship ain't gonna last. We've seen video footage, man. That relationship ain't gonna last. Because if you look at Africans and us, look at their parents and our parents, our upbringing is completely different. Their culture is completely different to ours. We know we're different. They know we're different. We know we ain't the same. Even though we're similar in complexion, Africans know we ain't the same as them. Read on.
Cush and Mizraim and Put and Canaan.
And listen, man, these is the African nations. All these African nations, let them stay together, man. You're not included in these African nations. You're not a son of Ham, man. Our whole life, we've been taught that we're African. We've been taught we're African. And then guess what? While we tried to be African, these Africans didn't accept us anyway. Go ahead.
The goes, meant to be dark.
You said Darky, right? Darky's one of the ugliest women ever. She's disgusting, man. She's a lesbian as well. Yeah. She's vile, man. If you ain't also type in Darky, she's vile, man. And these is people that tried to jump on the bandwagon as well. These is people that you're going to pull up a picture of it. Tazapon, Shalom Yaba Shabakafel.
Shalom Yaba.
So Darku, man, she's this. So I can say that again. Oh, yeah. So these is the Hamite nations. Ham is meant to stay together. We ain't part of that Hamitic nation, man. Jump down to verse 21.
Verse 21. Unto Shem also, the father of all the children of Eber.
The father of all the children of Eber. Eber means what? Hebrew, which means from the beginning, from the past, from the beginning. That's what Eber means. Hebrew, from the past. That's where that's who we come from, man. We come from Shem.
Right.
Shem, kids. We come from Shem. We ain't meant to mix with no Hamites. And now the Lord flooded the whole earth. Why? Because of interracial marriage and everybody coming together. The Lord didn't want everybody coming together. The Lord did what?
Right.
Confirm everyone's languages at the tower because what? Everybody was coming together. He didn't want everybody coming together, man. The Lord didn't want Burna Boy speaking patois, man. Now Burna Boy speaks in what's the patois words it says in that Dave song?
All of it, man.
All of it. Listen.
Big fat split bunny up.
Yeah, he talk about big fat split bunnying up, and this and that. Listen, man. They ain't supposed to talk like that, man.
Right.
This is how Benjamites talk, man. How these Africans and listen, you know what? You want to know how great we are? You want to know how we set the trend? Because Africans talk like us in their songs, but we don't ever speak like Africans, man. You know why? Africans ain't got nothing to offer us. Like, what can an African offer us? Africans can't offer us nothing, man. And this is why what we got, we need to hold on to what we got. We need to not allow these Africans to intermingle with us. We need to not allow these Africans to take part of our culture and we take part of theirs. Go ahead. Yeah, exactly. No African don't properly wear dreads. No Hamite wouldn't wear dreads. They just copy what Benjamites, even though we ain't dreads ain't our culture. Because we do. Go ahead.
We made no more dreads when the East Indian was
exactly. Exactly. Everything that we do, we make it popular, man. Even black men in Islam, they make that mandress and that kufi popular, man. Even though we ain't supposed to do it, everything we do, we make popular. But what these Africans ain't got one thing to offer us. Like, you look at us, Look at what we can do. There's nothing they can do better than us. Nothing they can do better than us. What they do is they come around us, and when you're around people, what happens? Obviously, you're gonna learn to do things the way they do it. I mean, these Africans came around us, and now you got rappers like K-Trap. You got rappers like what's his name? Aldi. Aldi thinks he's a Benjamite so much, and he's just a Nigerian, man. You're never gonna be an Israelite, man. And it's such a disgusting thing that they think that us. They're never gonna be us, man. Read what verse you at?
21.
Go ahead.
The father of all the children of Eva, the brother of Japheth.
Listen, man. This is who the children of Eva. Jump to verse 32.
Verse 32. These are the families of the sons of Noah.
So all this, I'm not going to read it all the way down for time's sake, but if you read it all the way down, it will let you know who's who. But now these are the families of Noah, and then these families was divided, given their own languages and given their own set of things and whatnot. Like every nation has their own culture. We've got ours. Ham's got theirs, and Chinese got theirs. Everybody's got their own. Arabs got theirs. We ain't supposed to be copying nobody else's, man. We ain't supposed to copy nobody else's, but everybody wants to copy us. And guess what happens? We let these Africans come around us. We teach them how to rap. We teach them how to dress. We teach them how to be cool. Listen, man. And another thing, you see Gucci and stuff, it's only doing good because we wear it, man. Nobody would wear it unless we wear it. And this is why when you listen to rappers, when you listen to rappers that rap about certain clothes, guess what? Their sales go through the roof, man, when we rap about it. Apparently, when Vybz Kartel dropped Clarks, even Cruffy went and brought a pair of Salaka. Listen, man, when Vybz Kartel dropped Clarks, Clarks went through the roof. Clarks went through the roof, man. When Kartel was dropping them tunes about shots, the cut off foot part. Listen, man, they copy everything we do, man. I hear Burna Boy talking about cut off foot part. Listen, all the Jamaicans talk like that, man. Nigerians don't talk like that, man. Before us, Nigerians would wear what the dress, right? You used to wear that dress thing, the shiki, the sandals, that silicone hat they would have on their head. That was an African, man. And it was so bad that back in the days, you see a non-school uniform day, these Africans didn't even want to come to school, man. Because the clothes that they had, didn't fit the non-school uniform day curriculum according to what we seen as clothes, man. But now in 2020, they've copied us down to a T, to where now even sometimes you're seeing some Hamites and you have to question, is he Israelite, is he Ham? Read that for me.
These are the families of the sons of Noah, after their generations, in their nation, by these were the nations divided. And by these were the nations divided, man. Listen, man, the Lord's always divided nations all the time. The Lord don't want everyone mixing together. Listen, the Lord don't want his great people mixing with these other people who ain't great, man. The Lord's always divided the nations. But when you live in places like Birmingham and London, there's a ton of Africans, and us in our ignorance, we just think, okay, we all black. When the truth is we ain't all black, man. These nations study you, and then they try and find a way to overtake you. Yeah. That's exactly what they do. They study you and find a way to overtake you.
Right.
And then now, when you look at who's getting paid all this money for these records, these African rappers who copied us, they're the ones getting signed. Stormzy, for instance, man. You see everything that Stormzy is getting. Really, Wiley's supposed to get that, man. And the world just looks at Wiley like Wiley's a hater. The world looks at Wiley like, oh, Wiley's old and washed up and he's a hater. Listen, man, I see where Wiley's coming from. Wiley's saying everything that this African's getting is what I've worked for. Wiley built this stage, and guess what? Somebody else just jumps on the stage.
Right.
Same thing with the Wailers, man. The Wailers were better singers than Bob Marley, man. The Wailers were better singers than Bob Marley. Now, when you type in the king of reggae, who did you say the king of reggae is? They say Bob Marley. Bob Marley is the king of reggae now.
Right.
Black people's accomplishments is always overlooked. Our accomplishments is always taken away from us. So now, you type in the king of reggae, it's a shame that you have to see Bob Marley come up. When I can name a million better artists than Bob Marley, man. There's loads of artists better than Bob Marley, man. Silk's better than Bob Marley, man. Dennis Brown's better than Bob Marley, man.
That's right.
Barry Salmon's better than Bob Marley, man.
Right.
Even Sanchez is better than Bob Marley, man. Who else is there? Give me some more Tazapuan. I know this
Garnet Silk,
this music your fuel. Come on, Tazapuan. Give me some of them.
Garnet Silk.
Garnet Silk. That's one. He's way better than Bob Marley, man. I know Dennis Brown's way better than Bob Marley. There's what's that next man's name? And he sings Just Don't Want to Be Lonely. What's his name? What's his name now? He sings Just Don't Want to Be Lonely. What's his name now? Just Don't Want to Be Lonely. What's his name? I can't remember his name, but even he's better than Bob Marley. But when you type in the king of reggae, Bob Marley comes up. The thing is this is how it works. Based on who's the best at music when you type it on the internet and who comes up, it's white people's opinions. Like a white man's opinion would be Bob Marley because he don't know about all these other artists. And the thing is this, when you come across us black people, we don't even listen to Bob Marley. That's like commercial.
Right.
Like that's like commercial. We don't even listen to Bob Marley. And so lucky, my rib just sent in his name. She said Freddie McGregor. That's the one. Freddie McGregor. That's the one. Drop that. Give me a Tazaprom. Give me a Deuteronomy 32 and verse 7. Like we've got tons of artists that most people don't even know, and also listen. Let me tell you another thing as well. If you ever go to order food, and on the menu it says Jamaican jerk chicken, it's not Jamaican jerk chicken. If you go to order anything and they put Jamaican before it, it's not made by no Jamaicans, man. When does a Jamaican man ever call his food Jamaican fried chicken, Jamaican jerk chicken? We just say, yeah, made some jerk chicken. Only Esau says, oh yeah, Jamaican jerk chicken. One time they tricked me in some potato stand, man. They said jacket potato with Jamaican jerk chicken. When it came up, it looked all chewed up and everything, man. And listen, I'm sure you've seen these Jamie Oliver things. Also, if you was to type in who one of the best cooks in the world is, Jamie Oliver would come up. But us being Benjamites, we know that ain't true. Right. We know that. Put it this way: Esau's very a lot on certificates and this and that. Esau goes by certificates, and Jamie Oliver's been on a cooking course. Imagine you go on the cooking course with Jamie Oliver, and you get a certificate, and now you think you're qualified to make Jamaican food. No, man. What qualifies you to be able to make Jamaican food is by you sitting on that Jamaican person's foot and learning, man.
That's right.
Jamie Oliver goes like measurements, man.
Exactly. Exactly. Right, exactly.
They're like 2 grams.
Exactly.
1 gram. Just beat it up.
Exactly. They do it that way. Listen, man. When us Jamaicans make food, man, to test the oil's hot, we flick some water in there and jump backwards, man. Listen, that's how we know if the oil's hot or not, man. Jamie Oliver goes by the temperature. Jamie Oliver says, yeah, you just cool your oil and gas mark free. That's what Jamie Oliver says. Put your oven on gas mark free. Listen, man. Us Benjamites don't do that, and I guarantee you. Listen, I can bring you a Benjamite who's never ever been on a cooking course in his life, but he can cook way better than Jamie Oliver, man. He can cook way better than what's that next one from House Kitchen? What's his name?
Ramsay.
Gordon Ramsay, man. One time, Gordon Ramsay that tried to cook the jerk chicken? Listen, it came out disgusting, and this is the thing, man. They try and do what we do, and it's never gonna work, man.
You know what I mean?
Go ahead.
All these other nations have seen how popular jerk chicken are, and they're trying to get in it as well.
Exactly.
Now, the panini shop, you get me in. The Indian shop. That's like jerk flavor paninis.
You tried it?
No, yeah.
What's it taste like?
The big ketchup. They make like jerk flavor crisp, jerk flavor sauce, and like I'm doing that. Everyone trying to jump right now.
See, and listen, man, they ain't never gonna be able to make jerk chicken like we do. Everyone knows that big knife that Jamaicans cut that jerk with, man. You know that big square knife where the boom. Listen, man, Jamie Oliver trying to be us, it ain't gonna work, man. These Africans trying to be us, it ain't gonna work, man. Tazapon, read that for me.
I wanted to say other one.
Go ahead.
Yeah, like they're trying to cook that rice and peas, and they use green peas and some foolishness. What they do is, yeah, you know what I'm saying? They're trying to make a mockery, though. You can clearly see they're trying to mock us. You know what I mean?
For real?
Yeah.
And the thing is this. And there's another thing as well. They got a restaurant, a Jamaican one in Kings Norton, and who owns it? Some East Indian man. And he comes in there, and you see when you're ordering, People taught patois here, trying to get in on the culture.
Mm.
One time I went in there, I was trying to talk this patois. I think he seen that I wasn't impressed. Like usually, black people laugh at him. I looked at him sideways, like I ain't impressed.
Right.
I ain't impressed, man. After that, I never went back to the shop. I thought it was a black shop. The shop's called what? Jamming.
The next one called Mr. Card's Caribbean shop.
On Dudley Road.
Mr.
Khan.
What oxymoron?
Exactly. Mr. Khan's Jamaican goods specifically. And you know what the sad thing about it is? You have to go there because there's no other shop where you can get all the stuff from. You see in that shop, they got all the seasonings that you want, man. All the seasonings that you want. Every single seasoning that you want, they will have it there, man. Why? Because they know that they can make money off our culture. Read that for me.
Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 7. Remember the days of old.
The Bible says, remember the days of old. And we must also remember what? That these Africans is the same ones that sold us, man. That's what we need to remember. We need to remember these Africans is the same ones that sold us into slavery. These Africans is the same ones that what? Hated us so much, didn't want to surround them, that they sold us. So why are we welcoming them right now, man? Why are we welcoming them? They sold us. This is what they did. They would learn everything from you, and then when you're not needed no more, you just fade off into the background.
Just like
that's what they're trying to do with us right now. Learn everything from us and then fade us off into the background.
Yep.
Like now, you look at the rap in the UK. Hamites is dominating it now. Why? Because all the Benjamites that started this now have faded off into the background. So now Burna Boy can come out, whereas an African would never call himself Burna Boy. That's something a Jamaican man would call himself, Burna Boy. Now a Hamite calls himself that. And the way it's spelled it is how Jamaicans would spell Burna as well, man. Listen, man. These Africans want to be us so badly. And then now they're making some money. Now that we made being African cool, now that we made them feel cool to be African, now they want to be African. Read on.
Salakia. I'm taking away, man. That every nation is hijacking us, man, so bad.
Right.
And fading us like Slakia, other one. Like you said, fading us away, man. You know what I mean? We're fading away, man. We're losing our salt because the heathens are taking it away.
Exactly, and we're giving it to them.
You know what I mean? And we're giving it to them, man.
Go ahead.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Khan. Remember the days of old.
Finish up what you was going to say.
Oh, that's it, man. We're giving it to them, man. That was it.
Right.
It's bad, man. It's bad. It's bad. We need to stop. Man.
For real? Because before you know it, we ain't gonna have nothing left.
Nothing left, man.
Exactly. We ain't gonna have not a thing left. I mean, when you look at everything that we've got, you see some other nation creeping up in there slowly. Everything like now, even rap in America, people tell you, Eminem's the greatest. They sold the most records. That's what they'll tell you. Eminem did what? Learned from everyone and copied everybody, started rapping. Now, in the UK, we've got an annoying version of Eminem in the UK called H that happens to be from your city, Salakia. H. You know about H, Tazapwan. You know about H, right?
I don't follow them things, but yeah, I kind of heard about him.
Yeah, so you see him, he's like, he tries to, he steals our culture as well. Like he raps about women. When have women ever like scrawny little white boys like that? Like when have women ever like those little scrawny little these guys here back in my day, they wasn't allowed a voice, man.
Right.
They wasn't allowed a voice, but now they're allowed to rap. Listen, man, back in my day, H wouldn't be allowed to rap, and no one would listen to him and take him seriously. No one would take him seriously. Say that again. Yeah, get a picture of it. Listen, we're gonna pull up a picture of this little scrawny H. I need to show you a picture of him.
Right.
I hear black women saying that it's cute. I heard black women say that H is cute.
A lot of them are gone, man.
Listen, no sister in here never say H is cute. And if she did, shouldn't be allowed back in the building. Should be banned from the building.
Right.
Show you a little picture of scrawny H. And these are the people who we're giving our culture to, man. And guess what? black man, you can rap,
Right.
but H is getting all the credit for the work that you've put in.
That's right.
And because we come from a nation of talented people be like, oh yeah, it's normal that black people. It's normal that black people can rap. It's normal that black people can sing. So when you get one white man out of his nation that can rap, people put him on a pedestal, say, wow, this man's so great. Listen, man, if H was black, he wouldn't be in the top 100. Man.
Right.
But because he's white, he gets catapulted to the top. He gets catapulted to the top, man. We're gonna show you a picture of him. Look at him. Even the way H dresses is like us. We're gonna pull up the big picture of it. This is H there. Listen, man. When I see him, I just see Adolf Hitler, man. He looks like Adolf Hitler. He don't look no. You seen H? H rapping is like Adolf Hitler rapping, man. H rapping is like what's his name? What's that man's name now? What's his name? What's his name? It's like Thomas Thistlewood rapping, man. What's the next one's name now? Oliver Cromwell rapping, man. That's what this is like. H rapping is no different to Oliver Cromwell rapping, man. Right. Go ahead. Yeah, exactly. and these are the people who's getting paid off of us paving the way, man.
Right.
Read that to me.
Khan. Remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations. Ask thy fathers.
Consider the years of many generations, man. Meaning what? You must ask your grandparents things, man. Consider the years of many. Do some research. Find out what these Africans were like before we made them cool, man.
Right.
Find out what these Indians were like before we made them cool. Now, you see these haircuts that these East Indians is having? They copied them haircuts from black people, man. I mean, now, you see East Indians in our black barbershops now. They come to our barbershops now, talking about, yeah, just give me the slits on the side. Talking about, you know when niggas get that little, I don't know why they get that nonsense, that little thing there. I don't know what the hell you call it. What do you call it? Is that parting? Listen, man, East Indians get that parting because we have it.
Right.
Go ahead.
Get freshies a bowl, land straight in hands in. What are
Exactly. Exactly.
They know this is how you should dress.
Exactly. Listen, man, you see all these trainers that we wear, we made them cool. Like obviously, you see the trainers that we wear. These trainers wasn't for every day. These was for things like if you do sports, right? Originally, that's what they call trainers, tennis shoes. People would wear them for tennis. Guess what happened, man? Black men said, yo, I'm gonna wear this every day. Guess what happens now? Trainers is your everyday footwear now. Trainers is your everyday footwear now because of us. Whereas before us, what was it? It was pointy shoes, man. And also another thing, if you look at these Caribbean people that came off the Windrush, they came dressed fly as could be, man. You see the picture of fly, they come dressed. Listen, man, these niggas come in the suit, man. You see them? The suit was pressed, had the hat on. Listen, man, black people are the coolest people on the face of the earth. And this world don't want to give us credit for it, man. But they want to steal everything and make it like it came from them. And then they want to tell us, oh, we need to calm down. Nah, man, I can't calm down, man. When I'm seeing you stolen everything from me, how are you going to steal everything from me and tell me to calm down? When they stop speaking patois, I'll calm down, man. When they stop rapping, I'll calm down, man. When they stop trying to cook our food, I'll calm down, man. When they stop trying to say Bob Marley's the king of reggae, I'll calm down, man. Up until that, I can't calm down. Calm down. Once Burna Boy stops singing, I'll calm down, man. Read on.
Khan, consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee.
Ask your father, man. Ask your father. How did Esau used to treat him? Ask your grandfather. What was it like when they first came to the UK, man? Ask your grandfather, what was it like growing up in their day and age? Ask your grandfather, did they used to mix with Africans? I guarantee you they didn't. You see, all of this coming together stuff. All of this coming together stuff is new. All of this coming together stuff doesn't go back more than 20, 30 years, man. You go back 30 years, you'd never see Jamaicans and Africans together like it is today.
Right.
Obviously, you would have the few, but the majority, it wouldn't happen that way, man. But in 2020, guess what? People want to say, oh yeah, we all won. When the truth is we ain't all one. And you know how we ain't all one? By how they treat you, man. By the way they treat you shows we ain't all one. By the way they sold us into slavery shows we ain't all one. By the way,
that's right.
By the way, these Africans look down on us show that we ain't all one. Right. Even when you try to be African, they still look down upon you, man. You save all your money to go to Ethiopia, and guess what happens? They don't welcome you. They don't welcome you one bit, man. Read on. Actually, you can drop that. Give me Jeremiah 23 and 1. And listen, man. Our religious leaders play a big part in this nonsense, man. Right. Our religious leaders play a big part in all of us thinking we can come together. When the truth is, we tried coming together, and guess what happens? Us coming together, it works for the other nations, but it don't work for us. I mean, imagine there's someone where all they do is take, and don't give. That's the relationship between us and these other nations, man. Right. We in a relationship where we just giving, and they're taking. And then what do we end up with at the end of this? From this so-called relationship we're in, we end up with nothing, man. What do we end up with at the end of this so-called relationship? We end up with Burna Boy, with Steph London now. We end up with what? Burna Boy having sex with our women, man. That's what we end up with. When she should have been with her brother, man. You need to tell me, then there was the next thing, she's got a brother as well, called Dr. Veli that raps. He was doing his live, and even on his live, he goes, my sister only likes African men. Listen, man. That's learned behavior, man. My sister only likes African men. Listen, man. She's been in London too much. She's been in London too long, in that mountain pot for too long. My sister only likes African men. Her father should have taught her to hate African men, man. Her father should have taught her that African men is disgusting, man. These Africans should never try and size up, man. These Africans used to come with their ashy feet and dry ankles, man. These Africans shouldn't size up, man. These Africans thinking that us. Pull up a picture of a proper African. I need to show you a proper African. How all these Africans is supposed to be. A rural African, man. Thinking that us now.
Right.
Like, don't ever let these Africans think they're better than you, man. They're meant to have that plate in their lip, man. Begging for £2 on the advert. Talking about if you don't donate £2 to support a child today, he could possibly die. This child's gonna get malaria from the dirty water. I don't give a damn, man. Let that African child get, man. Let him get malaria, man. That ain't my problem. Support. Listen, man. And you know the biggest scammers, man. I guarantee you, them Africans ain't really that poor, man. Right. Africans have been scamming us for years. Donate money to Africa. Yeah. Also, you know what else happens? Oh, yeah, I forgot to say, Steph London also sent money to help build a school in Africa, right? Did you hear about that? Yeah. To help build a school in Africa, man. Cadet died, what did they do? Sent money to some Arab country to build a well for some Arab kids, man. What about the kids from your own nationality, man? Right. What about our kids who need water? What about our kids who need shoes and clothes? What, you want to go clothe these Arabs, man? You want to go clothe these Africans, man? Did you get one? Yeah, sure. Pull it back up. Let me see. Go ahead.
This is where they come from, and they come to Britain. They put on a tracksuit, and now they're nice, man. They put on a pair of heels, and now this is them.
Exactly. This is your Africans, man. These are the people that started to think that they're better than us, man. These are the people that started to think that they're better than us. These Africans, look at them. Just understand this. This is always going to be them. This is always going to be them. Look at, give me one of them. See, look at the, look at that lip one bottom left on the left hand side, man. That's your Africans, man. Now do you see why the Lord's angry with us? Because this is how the Lord sees them, but you want to see them in a tracksuit, man. You want to see them as rap stars, man. You want to see them as better than yourself. Now you see why the Lord's angry with us. Like, what's wrong with these niggas? The Lord sees them like that. When the Lord sees them with that split lip and ashy skin, man. Right. That's how the Lord sees them. Now you see why the Lord's so mad with us. That's why the Lord's so mad with us, man. God. And your pastor don't help, man. Your pastor makes out, all you do is come to church, and once you come through the church door, your skin color disappears. With church, it's like you leave your skin at the door. That's what church is like, man. It's like the skin stays at the door, and then once you're in there, we're just all one race. Right. Really, your pastor knows that's a lie. But you know why your pastor doesn't tell you the truth? Because he wants your money, man.
That's right.
He wants to get as much people there as possible. Whereas, listen, man, if one person didn't want to hear this truth, I'm still gonna speak the truth how it is, man. Whether a million people want to hear it or one person wants to hear it, we ain't gonna change our ways, man. We ain't gonna change our ways. We ain't gonna welcome no Africans into our school, man. Whereas some of these fake Israelite camps got Africans all up in there, man.
Yeah.
All of them got Africans up in there, man. There's one down the road, what they call the GOK Church. Is that they call there's one called the GOK Church. I believe that's what they call the GOK Church. They've got Hamites in there. Listen, man. They got everything in there, man. They got races that I didn't even know existed in there, man. Like, listen, in England, where do you find the Filipino men in England? They found one in the GOK Church. They got those in there, man. Listen, man. They've got Filipino people in there. What else they got in there? What's the next? They got Hawaiians in there. Trying to say, yeah, the Israelites. Listen, man. People in that congregation is led astray, man. In that church, because that's what they are. They're not. They even call themselves a church. So it's not even me. They call themselves a church. The GOK Church. The GOK Church. The GOK. Why would you want to go to anything called GOK? The GOK Church.
Right.
Listen, man. They've got Hamites all up in there, man. And this is why in the I.S.U.P.K, this is as black as possible, man. Right. I want to say black. Come on, about Israelite black men as possible, man. We don't have like another thing as well. Like, it's not unlawful to eat jollof rice, but I'm making it a law in here. No jollof rice is coming in here. I've made that a law in here. Ain't no jollof rice coming up in here. It's not unlawful, but it's unlawful to bring jollof rice in here. Fufu is not unlawful, but it's unlawful to bring fufu in here.
That's
Right.
It's unlawful to bring those things in here, man. I might just stone you if you do, so lucky. It might just be punishable by death if you bring jollof rice up in here. That's breaking the dietary law if you bring jollof rice up in here. No jollof rice in here. No fufu. And there's a next thing they got, which is fake versions of festivals, man. You seen it? Puff puff, some fake festival, man. Puff puff. Listen, man, I ain't eating anything called puff puff. That's the thing that these Africans eat. They try and steal our culture. They try and steal our food and name it a different thing. And listen, man, everything that let me let you know. Let me let you know another thing in case you didn't know. All the food, or you see all the food that we have for the feast days. I overlook it first. The sisters will say to me, "Oh, we're making this day. What do you think?" So I make sure no jollof rice is coming in here, man. If any sister did say, "Oh, can I make jollof rice for the feast day?" Listen, man, my pictures are gonna disappear off WhatsApp and my status is gonna disappear. That means she's blocked. She's gonna message me. She's only one tick's gonna go through. I ain't even gonna respond. Ain't no jollof rice coming in here. Listen, if any sister said to me in here, "Oh, can we make jollof rice for the feast day?" I'm gonna say, "Yes, lucky. I don't think you should cook for this feast day." I'm gonna say, "I don't think you should cook for this feast day." You can go cook for the GOK Church down the road. Go cook for the GOK Church, but in here, you ain't cooking for none of us in here. Read on.
Jeremiah 23, verse 1. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture.
And this is what happens, man. Our pastors have scattered the Lord's sheep, man. They've scattered us. Right. Meaning what? We all over the place. We scattered for every religion. We're trying to join every other nation. We want every nation to join us. We listen. We've become like a whore for these nations, man. You see, like how a whore's there for everybody. As a nation, we've become like whores for everybody, man. We've become everybody's whore. I mean, and let me tell you another thing as well, man. Let me tell you another thing as well. When you look at races, you look at what? When someone will say to you, "Oh yeah, I'm half black and half Arab. I'm half black and half Chinese," and then when you find out, why is it our women is the only ones that open their leg to Chinese men and Arab men and all these kind of things? You look at these other like listen, when do you ever hear of someone say, "Oh yeah, I'm half Arab and half Chinese"? It don't happen, man. Like our women is taught to what? Not value themselves, man, and taught to open their legs to every other race. And this is why you see a woman, you say to her, because obviously you see her, you don't know what she's mixed with. You say, "So yeah, so what you mixed with?" She'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'm a black and Chinese." You'll be like, "Yeah, where's your dad from the Caribbean?" She'll be like, "Oh no, my dad's Chinese." And then you think, say that again. My dad's from Wuhan. My dad's from Wuhan. So now I'm thinking in my head, all right then, so what woman would want to open up her legs to a man from Wuhan? I'm thinking, why would a woman want to open her legs to a man from Saudi Arabia? Go ahead.
It's like, what is the deep? I didn't think like that. You don't hear other nations say, I'm Chinese and Arab.
Right.
Always Chinese and black.
Right.
Arab and black. I mean, a black man or a black woman having sex with the nation.
Exactly. All the time, it's always us. We the ones mixing with everybody. These Arabs ain't mixing. These Arabs ain't mixing. These other nations ain't mixing amongst each other. It's just us that want to mix with them. And this is why what you'll find any mix which will have us in there, because what we like to be with everybody, man. We like to be with everybody except the people who the Lord said we must be with, man. It don't make no sense. Read on.
Khan. Whoa, be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter my sheep.
And listen, man, these pastors scatter the Lord's sheep, man. That's what these pastors do, man. They scatter us. They lie to us, have us worshiping everything, have us in every other religion. And read on.
Sheep of my pasture, says the Lord. Therefore, thus says the Lord, God of Israel, against the pastures that feed my people.
Listen, man, the Lord's against them pastors. The Lord's visiting all these pastors, man. And
Right.
if you don't know church is garbage by now, I don't know what to say to you. If you don't know church is garbage by now, I don't know what to say to you. Apparently, some churches, they said they ain't opening back till what, 2021? Apparently, some of them, they said they ain't opening back till 2021, man. Give me Joshua chapter 23 and verse 6.
Go on.
So now, we need to what? Come back together, man. Only deal with our nation. Understand how great we are. Because we letting everybody in, man. Nobody deserves to be in this family, man. Nobody deserves to be in this family, man. Only us, only we deserve it. How we trying to let outsiders come inside, man? We ain't supposed to let them come into what is holy to us, man.
Khan, Joshua.
Our nation is, go ahead.
Joshua, what do you say? Slakia.
Chapter 23 and verse 6.
Khan.
And this is why every time someone asks me, every time someone will ask me, where you from? Listen, I make sure I tell them clearly, man. Listen, I get offended when people mistake me for some Hamite, man. I get offended, man. Someone once said to me, you could pass as I got. I said, yo, listen. No, listen, no, don't get me like what's his name? What's his name again? What's his name? I can't remember his name. Like Bounty Killer says, don't get me miserable, man. Don't get me angry. Listen, don't mistake me for no Ghanaian. Don't mistake me for no Nigerian. I don't look nothing like them, man. And obviously, I ain't nothing like some damn stinking Ghanaian, man. We nothing like them. We way better than these Ghanaians. Like in Nigeria alone, their population is about 230 million. And out of all of that, there's less talent than we've got in the Caribbean, and there's only 2 million people in Jamaica. And with us, we got tons more talent than them, man. They've got, their population is 230 million. That's just Nigeria. Imagine the whole of Africa, which lets you know how talentless Africa is, man. And then you got Akon pretending to be one of us, locked up the world. Listen, man, that's a black man's life being locked up, man.
Right.
Akon don't know nothing about being locked up, man. I swear he's never been to jail in his life, right?
God.
Listen, man, Akon was so corny, man. Talking about how lonely he is. Listen, man, the reason you're lonely is because you're African and nobody likes Africans, man. I can tell you why you're lonely, because you're African and nobody likes Africans. And you deserve to be lonely. And the reason you deserve to be lonely is because you're African. That's why you deserve to be lonely, man. Read on.
Joshua chapter 23, verse 6. Be therefore very courageous to keep and
the Lord to be courageous, man. We need to be courageous, man. Listen, you ain't courageous when you're loving these Africans. You ain't courageous when you're loving these Africans. What you're showing me is you got no low self-esteem, man. That's what you're showing me. When you're trying to join these other nations, you ain't showing me you're courageous. You're showing me you got low self-esteem, man. When you believe these other nations is better than you, you ain't showing me you're courageous. You're showing me you got low self-esteem. That's all I see. Go ahead.
Karawan Khan. Be ye therefore very courageous to keep and to do all that is written in the book of the law of Moses.
And listen, man, we have the law of Moses, man. That's ours. We shouldn't let nobody take that away from us.
That's
but
right.
Guess what? The Jewish man. That's another person who stole our cult. Like when you look at it, how much different people in the still parts of our cult? I mean, damn.
Right.
I mean, what are they going to leave us with? We're going to have nothing soon, man. I mean, leave us with something. Can we please have something to ourselves? I mean, people say to us, oh, why don't you I.S.U.P.K guys let other nations in? I mean, can we please have something to ourselves? Exactly, man. Can we please have something to ourselves? I mean, the Jewish man tried to steal the Bible from us. The whole world tries to steal the New Testament, tries to steal Christ from us. I mean, the whole world tries to steal Christ from us. The Jewish man tries to steal the law of Moses from us. These Africans try to steal our music from us.
Right.
These East Indians try to steal our lingo and our dress code and everything from us. Jamie, I was trying to steal our dishes from us. Go ahead.
So like our that the supply what we need, so we don't go to our own, we go to them.
Right, we always go to them, man. That's the thing, man. And everything we do, they steal it from us. I mean, can us Israelites please have something to ourselves? I mean, you've took everything else from us. The one thing we ain't allowing them to take is the truth, man. They ain't ever taking the truth from us.
That's
This is why it's so disgusting that you're sitting up in these fake Israelite groups, man. These fake Israelite groups that think they can share the truth with these other nations, man, which lets you know they ain't got the truth, man.
That's right.
And this is why we say they ain't in the truth. They're up in there trying to share this with every other nation, man. How dare you try and share this with every other nation? Go ahead.
Kanawan Khan. Salakia. Keep and do all that is written in the book of the law of Moses, that ye turn not aside therefrom to the right hand or the left hand.
Neither what? We ain't meant to turn to the what? The right hand or the left hand, man. That's what we ain't supposed to do. We ain't supposed to turn to the right or to the left. We ain't supposed to follow none of these other nations or nothing, man. Go ahead.
God, that ye come not among these nations, these that remain among you, neither make mention of the names of their gods. No,
listen, man. These other nations, we ain't even supposed to make mention of their gods, man. We ain't supposed to look at their gods like their gods got any power, man. Allah ain't got no power, man.
That's
Allah some stupid stone sitting in Mecca somewhere. Allah some stupid stone had a stupid prophet that wasn't no prophet called Muhammad, that was a regular Arab that has sex with animals and cows and what. That's what your Arabs do, man. Sex with cows, sheep. Listen, you think I'm lying? The thing is, all these other nations is immoral, man. All these other nations is immoral, especially these Arabs, man. They're very immoral. And you're going to tell me, that God's dealing with the Arabs. Listen, man. The one true God, who is our God, ain't dealing with no Arabs, man. He said the Arabs are nothing.
That's right.
He said the Africans are nothing. He said the Chinese are nothing.
Right.
And these nations know they're nothing, and this is why they lie and try and steal from us, man.
That's right.
Everything that we have, they try and steal from us. I mean, damn. I mean, please leave us with something. Go ahead.
Khan, neither make mention of their gods, nor cause to swear by them, neither serve them, nor bow yourselves unto them.
It says, neither make mention of them, man. Meaning what? Their gods ain't nothing, man.
Nothing.
They don't mean nothing, man. Don't be afraid of some. Don't be afraid of some heathen telling you that Allah's gonna punish you. Allah can't do nothing, man. Allah can't do nothing, man. Don't be afraid of some Rastafarian telling you, oh, Selassie is God. Selassie died in the toilet, man. Selassie died in the damn toilet, man. Tell me about some Selassie. Selassie was about 4 foot tall as well, man. Tell me about some damn Selassie. Listen, Selassie is every big head Somalian you see outside, man. That's his Don't let these Africans tell you about Selassie, this and that. Selassie ain't nothing but some big head African, man.
That's right.
Some big head African that used to worship white Jesus also.
That's right.
Somebody tell me I'm lying. I can prove it. Somebody tell me I'm lying. I can prove it. Selassie also worship white Jesus also. No, Bob Marley also worship white Jesus also, man. Who's the face of Rastafarianism? Somebody tell me I'm lying. I can prove it. Somebody tell me I'm lying and I'll prove it. Go ahead. He said the prophets of old married Hamite wives. Give me Deuteronomy 7:1. Let's see what the Lord had to say about that. Give me Deuteronomy 7:1.
Can.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that on the door.
Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 1. When the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land, whether thou goest.
The boys, this is the law. So if we going by the law, we ain't supposed to marry no Hamite wives, because this is the law here, and it specifically mentions Hamites in this law. So we're gonna read it. Give me Deuteronomy 7:1.
Can. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 1. When the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land, whether thou goest to possess it, and has cast out many nations before thee.
The Lord cast out many nations before us. I mean, before we went in that land, many nations were in there. Many nations got cast out. All these Hamite nations was round about us at the time. So when we was about to go into the land, there was many African nations around. All these nations around was Hamites. Read on.
Read on.
Go ahead.
Can. And has cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, the Girgashites,
the Hittites, Africans. Go ahead.
The Girgashites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivites.
Listen carefully. It says the Hivites, man, and they're not. They got HIV. The HIVites, man. These Africans is the HIVites, man. HIVites, man. We ain't supposed to listen. If you don't want HIV, you better stay away from them Hamite nations, man. The Lord here is telling us not to marry them. Read on.
Yeah. So like your other one, and the parasites.
And the parasites, man. Listen, the parasites, man. Listen, man. That sounds like, listen, these Africans is also riddled with disease, also, man. The Lord told you stay away from them for a reason. They're riddled with disease.
Yeah.
Like disease just flows off them, man. Disease just sticks to them, man. Like Africans is worse than the COVID-19, man. You die quicker messing with the Hamite than the COVID-19, man. Read on.
And the parasites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, 7 nations, greater and mightier than thou.
These nations were mighty. Go ahead.
When the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them.
It said we shall marry them. What did it say?
Thou shalt smite them.
Thou shalt love them and give them half of your culture. What does it say?
Thou shalt smite them.
No, you should invite them to your get-togethers. What did it say?
Smite them.
Listen, man, the Lord said thou shalt smite them, man. Why would I be sitting up next to some Hamite, man? The Lord said thou shalt smite them. Why would I be trying to marry some Hamite, man? The Lord said thou shalt smite them. Read on.
Go on. And utterly destroy them.
and do what?
And utterly destroy them.
The Lord said we was meant to utterly destroy these Hamites. So the boys, if we was meant to marry them, the Lord would have said we're supposed to marry them, but the Lord said we should utterly destroy them. And brother, it's a good thing that you're in class, because this is what class is for. So you can get your questions answered, because once upon a time we was all misinformed, believing that we could be with them and believing that there was our people. We was all misinformed at one stage. So this is why it's good to be, and this is why this class is to teach brothers the truth and whatnot. So it's good that you're in class. Read on.
Thou shalt make.
Someone on Junior Osman said you're racist more than a white man. Give him a hand. Junior Osman, we know you was in the yellow bus in school, but this is the first time you got a round of applause. The first that you're right for once in your life. We know you've never been right in your life, and you've got everything wrong in your life. You used to put your hand up in class, answer questions, and the teacher used to say Junior Osman. That's incorrect. Teacher used to say Junior Osman. That was incorrect. Don't worry, you're right today. Now you can go home and tell your mom that you're correct for once in your life. Read on, Tazapuan.
Thou shalt make no marriage. Salakia. Thou shalt make no covenant with them.
Thou shalt what?
Thou shalt make no covenant with them.
The Lord said we ain't supposed to make no covenant with them. You know why? Because we don't need Africans for nothing, man. We don't need Africans for not one thing. What do we? I mean, what do we need Africans for? But when you flip it, Africans need us. Chinese people need us. Arabs need us.
Right.
The French need us. All these people need us, but we don't need them. You know why? Because we make everything great.
That's
everything
right.
that we touch turns to gold. We make everything great, man. Every single thing that we touch, we make it great and golden, man. Listen, man. Everybody puts their seat so far back in their car and drives back like this because what? We do it, man. Everybody puts tints on their windows because what? We do it, man. We put tints on our window because obviously we didn't want people to see us and we wanted to be low from the police. These Indians, what do they need tints for, man? Why did these Indians need tints, man? They do it because why? They want to copy us, man.
That's right.
Go ahead.
They say brethren.
Exactly.
That's our pronunciation.
Exactly. They say brethren when really that's just how we pronounce words, man. That's how that's how we pronounce words. Because if you know anything about Caribbean people, even things like Timothy, they say Timothy. The name will be Matthew. Benjamin would say Matthew. Certain things, man. Listen, that's how we pronounce words. We don't even do it. Purpose is just how we pronounce it. And guess what? These other nations realize we're so cool that even they do it now. Even they do it now. Read on.
Canada and Khan, thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them.
No what?
Nor show mercy unto them.
The Bible says we ain't even supposed to show mercy unto them. Listen, man. The Bible says we ain't meant to show mercy unto them. So when you see these adverts, donate £2 to an African child who can't have clean water. If you don't donate to him, the flies and his family is gonna. What does the Bible say? Tazapuan.
No, show mercy unto them.
No. He needs £2. What did the Bible say?
No, show mercy unto them.
No. He's got flies on his face. What did the Bible say?
No, show mercy unto them.
No, he's gonna die if we don't give him £2. What did the Bible say?
No, show mercy unto them.
To hell with them damn Hamites, man. Show no mercy unto them. Let them be on the news begging for £2, man. Listen, you see this water right here? There's an African that needs some water like this right here, and I ain't gonna give him none of it. Ain't no Hamite getting none of this water. Listen, ain't no Hamite getting none of this water. Read on. You know, how am I getting?
You're good.
You gotta be black and Hispanic in order to get anything from me, man. Read on.
God, neither shalt thou make marriages with them.
Hold on, neither what?
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them.
The Bible says, neither shalt thou make marriages with them. So the boys, we ain't meant to make no marriages with them, man. We ain't meant to make no marriages with them. We ain't meant to marry none of them. Read on. Let's get more. Read on.
Come on. Can. Thy daughters thou shalt not give unto his sons.
Listen, you ain't meant to give your daughter to their sons, man. Your daughter's not meant to come to you and say, oh, dad, I got an African boyfriend and we're going to get married and we're going to this. Nah, man. You ain't meant to be giving your daughters away to your sons. You ain't meant to be negotiating with someone. How much saying, yeah, you can marry my daughter. Nah, man. The Lord said we ain't supposed to do that, man. The Lord don't want us mixing with no Africans. The Lord said we ain't supposed to do that. Read on.
Can. Nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son.
Say that again. What did that part say?
No, Slakia. Nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son.
No, their daughter, man. We ain't supposed to take their daughters onto our sons either.
Right.
Meaning what? We ain't meant to marry no Africans, man.
Right.
We ain't meant to marry no Hamites, man. It's right there in the law. The brother also said, the prophets all married Hamite wives. Also the Igbo of Nigeria, Israelites. They ain't Israelites, man. That's a lie, man. You see, to be an Israelite, you have to come from one of them 12 tribes. I don't know about no Igbo. I don't know about Ashanti. That's not in the 12 tribe chart. When I see the 12 tribe chart, I don't see no Igbo in there. I don't see no Ashanti in there. What's the next ones they got? What's some of the next silly African tribes they got? Hausa. They listen. I don't see none of that in there. They ain't our people. What's happened is they've sold you, and now they're lying to you. You mean to tell me? So you mean to tell me that we were so? You mean to tell me that the Lord got it wrong? We were sold, and somehow now we all the way back in what, Nigeria? Nah, man, listen, they ain't Israelites, man. They're Hamites. They're Africans, man. That's exactly who they are.
Right.
They're Hamites. They ain't us. People lie to you. People say to you, "Oh, the Ashantis is what the tribe of Levi is." That what they say?
Salakia.
Yeah, they will tell you that Ashanti is the tribe of Levi. Go ahead.
I thought it was Benjamin.
There's one. Now, I'm sure they say that Ashanti is Levi, which is a damn lie. Even whoever they say they are, it's all a lie. They ain't us, man. Listen, the thing is this: these African tribes, you know, the Igbo and all of them. The reason they're filthy rich right now is because they sold us.
Right.
That's the reason why they're so rich right now. Man.
Right.
Who's the richest tribe out there? Is it the Mandingos? It's not the Mandingos. I'm sure it's the Ashantis, right? It's the Ashantis. They're so rich because they sold us, and there's history on it also. There's history on it also. So they ain't Israelites. That's a lie that they're Israelites.
Salakia, the one.
Go ahead.
Yeah. How can I say it now? They actually say that they sold us. You understand? And you know,
right.
like now they take it, they open the door so you can so-called come back home to Ghana or Nigeria or whatever. They open the door apparently, right? But
exactly, and guess what? When you go back there, you need to go there with that British money.
Right.
You need to go there. The only way they will let you come back if what you do benefits them.
That's right. So
the only way they will let you come back if you can benefit them in some way.
Right.
If you can't benefit them, you know, same like what Esau done to what some of the Benjamites, sent them back to Sierra Leone, and they called it what, Freetown. They called it Freetown. He sent a ton of the Benjamites back to Sierra Leone. The ones that basically he called rebels. The ones that he couldn't get to do whatever he wanted. They sent them back to a place called Freetown. And then you know how you know the difference between the real people of Sierra Leone, the Hamites, and the Benjamites, because the Benjamites was in a place called what, Little Jamaica. The Benjamites was in a place called Little Jamaica, which is letting you know there's a distinction between the Hamites and these people that came from Jamaica. They're letting you know the distinction between what, Hamites and the Israelites. Also in Ethiopia, a ton of Benjamites have gone back to Ethiopia.
Right.
And there's a difference between the Ethiopians and the Benjamites, because what? The Ethiopians is over there and the Benjamites is in what? Shashamali. All the Israelites is there. There's a ton of Rastafarians there. How do I know? Because my dad decided he wants to. Go ahead.
It's like the other one. Yeah, no matter if we are amongst them or we go back and claiming to be them, there's always the Lord, and the Lord always sets a separation, just like when we was in Goshen in Egypt, man.
Right, exactly. No matter when we try to go amongst them, the Lord always has it that they don't want to be amongst you, man.
Right.
They don't want to be amongst you. They don't want. Listen, they don't want to be. You want to be amongst them. Like my dad did. Guess what? Listen, from I was the age of 3 or 4, my dad's always said, you know what? When I grow up, we're going to Ethiopia. We're moving to Ethiopia, the motherland, the motherland, the motherland. Guess what? Right. He's in Ethiopia right now, and now he realizes he's not Ethiopian. He had to go there to realize that Ethiopian. He said to me, his exact words was, the Ethiopians are a dirty set of people. I said, Dad, I could have, just by looking at Selassie, I could have told you that. I might say, Dad, just by that Selassie picture that you have on the wall, the whole life growing up, telling me that's God. Just by looking at that picture, I could have told you this man from a race of a dirty set of people. Take me back to the boys. You need any more understanding on that, or is that too hard? And give me
Salakia.
Go ahead, Tazapon. You can say something.
Let me finish up this one here.
Go ahead.
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughters thou shalt not give unto thy sons, nor their daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. For they will turn away thy son.
You take their daughter. It's going to tell us why. Read on.
For they will turn away thy son.
Go ahead, read on.
Salakia. Or they will turn away thy
Go ahead, read
son
on. Read on.
from following me. That
They would do what? They would do what?
they will turn away thy
Says they would turn
son.
away thy son from following me. From following me, which means what? Now, guess what? You end up with an African woman. Guess what's going to happen?
Right.
You're going to be eating jollof rice and fufu and what's that one called? Puff puff. You're going to be eating puff puff. Now, you get with the African woman. Guess what? You're not gonna want to be you no more. You're gonna want to be more like her people.
Can.
You're not gonna want to serve your God no more. You're gonna want to serve her people.
Right.
And what's gonna happen is one day you're gonna say, you know what? Let me put a plate in my lip. One day you're gonna have that plate in your lip. It says they'll turn away thy son from following me. Pull up a picture of Burna Boy. Actually, is that? Then again, I don't think we'll find that video where the Hamites were sitting there and you could just tell that we're completely different people. You can be able to play it off your phone and put it in front of the camera with it. Show. I think it's the one that I sent. Yeah, where Burna Boy was on the screen. One second. Let me see if I got it. Give me 1 second. I think I should have it in my screen capture.
Salakia, other one. Shall I read that?
Read that part. Turn away thy son from following me.
Can other one can. Verse 4.
No.
For they will turn away thy son from following me.
Now this right here is a sister that stated this Hamite. Let me know if it comes in front of the screen. Listen to this. You hear that? The Nigerian woman said, "You either change that or you're not going to get a Nigerian visa." Let me pull it back and play it. See. Listen, they're laughing and joking, but they ain't joking.
Can.
Now, let me tell you what happened. Basically, there was a team. There was like a Jamaican thing going on versus Nigeria. She's Jamaican, he's Nigerian. Now, she sent in a voice note saying she's Team Jamaica. That was her partner who's a Hamite. And his mom said, okay, you're supporting Jamaica. Watch, you're not going to get a Nigerian visa. Right there, what Tazaporn's reading, they're going to make you turn away, man. That's what they're trying to make her do. They said, you better denounce that and change it. They're trying to make her. And then you know what this stupid idiot said in the thing? She goes, oh, don't worry, I'm half and half. Saying she's half, I'm half and half. Meaning, because she's got a Nigerian partner, she's already halfway turned away from following. Meaning now she's going to denounce their culture to follow that. Did you hear how he was talking? That's to say, he sounds like a. One second, let me play it on. Listen to how this is how Hamites talk, and this man speaks patois sometimes. Listen to how he talks. Listen to that. This Hamites like, okay, listen, man. That's not us, man. Listen, man. Like, how do you wake up in the morning next to that, man? How do you wake up next to that, man? Let's play some more. Listen to this damn Hamite. And the mom saying, "Is that the way? Is that the listen, man? That's not us, man."
God.
How do you wake up? How do you wake up listening to that, man? Listen, man. The Lord said, "Don't marry them, man." So you don't wake up listening to that, man. Let me play some more of this. She said, "You will not get Nigerian visa." Listen, man. I don't want no damn stinking Nigerian visa, man. To hell with Nigeria, man. That's what she should have said. She should have said to hell with Nigeria. Go ahead. Exactly. 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 These Nigerians is falling out of planes. Remember that one that fell out the plane? These Nigerians is falling out of planes. That's how much they're trying to come over here, man. That's how much they're trying to come over here, man. Tazapon, give me.
Let me finish up. Let me finish up.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Finish that off.
For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods.
And listen, man, Steph London's halfway there to serving something else, man. Steph London went from serving up jet chicken to now puff puff and fufu and all of the and they eat it with their hands, and it's just so disgusting, man. You see how they dip there? You see how animals eat. Animals eat like that, man. You know why animals and Africans eat the same? Because Africans is animals, man.
That's right.
Africans is animals, man. That's why they eat the same. That's why they eat the same. Listen, man, I can't stand Hamites, man. I can't stand them. Any more on that type of one?
Another one.
Go ahead.
That they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you.
And listen, now this is why the Lord's so angry with us, man. Because we're looking at these Africans like there's something special. These Africans ain't nothing special, man. Right. These Africans ain't nothing special. You're better than them, man.
That's right.
You're gold, man. You're royalty. And they're just ashy and horrible, man. When being an Israelite, it means something, man. Like it means something. Like the Lord looks at us. The Lord looks at us like, how do you not see how precious you are, and you're mixing with that? Now do you see why now you see why we're in slavery? This is why we're in slavery. Because the Lord looks at us like, oh, you're the greatest thing on the earth. I've told you don't mix with these disgusting other people. And then we want to mix with them. And then because we mix with them, the Lord said, you know what? You want to be like them, go be with them. And then now we're all down here with them, man. We don't we shouldn't be with these people, man. Give me
Salakia. Let me finish up. The anger of the Lord will be kindled against thee and destroy thee suddenly.
And listen, man. The Lord said, if you do the anger, the Lord's going to be kindled and destroy us suddenly. So no, we can't marry Hamites because that's against God's law. So now we can't marry them. We can't marry no other nation. We only allowed to marry inside our nation. Black, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. That's who we can marry. And the thing is, you don't need to marry outside of your nation. Like, we got the most beautiful women in our nation, man. Like, anything outside of our nation, you don't need. Like, these women ain't got nothing on our sisters, man. Like, these other women, they try to be like our sisters. Why do you think they're all going to the salon, trying to get their body better, trying to get their lips done? Listen, man, our women naturally got them lips, man. Meanwhile, these other nations have to go put them needles in, them lip fillers. They have to pay £200 for them lip fillers. They have to do something to get their cheekbones lifted. They have to go on a tanning machine, man. They have to go on the tanning machine, man. Meanwhile, all our women have to do is just put some baby oil on them legs and woo. Listen, man, all they gotta do is cream their skin and woo. These other nations gotta go on that tanning bed. They gotta do everything, man. We don't need to go out of our nation for everything, man. Give me
and go orange.
Yeah, exactly, and they go orange. They go orange and they just look so silly. Give me a Romans 10:1. Also, I got this book here. Obviously, because I'm gonna read it from this side because Taz Point got it on that side. So pull Romans 10:1 for me.
Go on. What book is that?
The first Rasta.
Go on. No, not got it.
You got it?
No. No, I've got 10:1. I've not got the first Rasta.
Right. Give me read Romans 10:1, and I'm gonna read
another one. Romans chapter 10 verse 1. Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to God for Israel is that they might be saved.
Israel might be saved. You know why? Because with us, you know what we do? We try, we listen, we're looking for God, we're searching for God. But most of our people, they got zeal, but without knowledge. And you know how you know? These Rastafarians talk about God all day, but they got no knowledge, man. They got no knowledge, but they got a spliff in their mouth, man. That's all Rastas got, a spliff in their mouth, man. We're in the church trying to find God. We got no knowledge either. Read that again from the top. Let me see if this is the right part.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Romans chapter 10, verse 1. Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to God for Israel is that they might be saved.
Listen, man, Paul understood, you know what? These niggas got zeal, but they ain't got no knowledge. That's what we have today, zeal and no knowledge, man. This is why we trying to make these Hamites join us, man. We trying to say that with them and they're us. Nah, man. Now, this is the book, the first rest there, page 101. Says, Joseph Hibbert, Howard's companion in St. Thomas, confirmed to Mansingh that after learning about the Hindu god incarnates, Rama, Krishna, and Buddha, Howard was convinced that every nation had its own god. So it says Howard was convinced that every nation had its own god. So Howard saw what? The East Indians had their god called Krishna. He was convinced that the Chinese and whatnot had Buddha. He was convinced that the Arabs had Allah. And then Howard wanted to know, where's the black man's god? He was convinced that Christians that white people had white Jesus. So Howard was saying, all right then, every nation's got their own god. He was seeing something. What Howard was seeing is that every nation has their own god. So Howard was saying, you know what? Where's the black man's? Because everybody else has got their God incarnate. So it says Jesus for the whites, Rama, Krishna, Buddha for the Indians, and someone in Africa about whom he did not know. So now, this is how Benjamites got up all in this worshiping Selassie nonsense, man. Because what? Black people thought that they had no God, and they were searching for a God. They were searching for someone to believe in, man. They were searching for someone to worship. They saw that the Indians had Krishna. Howard was off, but at least Howard understood that Krishna can't be his God. At least they understood that Buddha can't be his God. He saw these things and he understood that those people can't be his God. So he said, you know what? Black people's got a God somewhere in Africa, but I don't know where. And then it says, for the African, no, it says in Africa about whom he did not know. For the Africans, when Rastafari was crowned, now everyone knows Rastafari is Selassie. Rast means what? Prince or Duke. And Tafari was his name. That was his first name. So that's why it says Rastafari. So it says when Rastafari was crowned, Hibbert told Mansingh, Africans realized that his title given to him by the whole world makes him a god, just like I.S.U.P.K, Buddha, Rama, Krishna. So now they saw this and they said, you know what? There's a black king being crowned in Ethiopia. This must be the black man's God, because black people don't have a God. So they said Selassie must be the black man's God. And then guess what happened? They started to what? Worship Selassie as a God. You know why? Because what you need to remember is these Benjamites was poor. They was poor. There was a fresh out of slavery. Well, not fresh out of slavery, but near enough. They was poor on a low state. And then they seen a man that was in similar complexion to them. That was a king, that had a castle, that was rich, that ruled over a whole country. And then they said, this man must be God. This man must be God. And then that's how Selassie became so great in the Caribbean. That's how people started to say that Selassie was a God. And then also, what else did they do to help push Selassie? They got Bob Marley, man, who is a devil. They got Bob Marley, who is a devil, to say to you. One second, let me see if I can. Let me read on. And then it says, after the coronation of Rastafari, Africans had a God king and a promised land. Now it says Africans had a promise. No, Israelites had a promise. It's saying Africans, but we know it's talking about Israelites. So now these Israelites in the Caribbean believe that they had a promised land. And it says, but when would they be allowed to go there? Guess what? Black men been saving to go to this so-called promised land their whole life. And now this is how Ethiopia became the motherland, because they saw that Selassie was from there. And now they will say to you, Selassie is the king of all kings. That's what they will say to you. They'll say Selassie is the Lord, King of kings. That's what they will say to you. They'll say to you that Selassie is God. Well, listen, If Selassie is God, God don't need help from the Queen of England
That's right.
when he was running from the Italians.
God.
Why would God need help from the Queen of England? Selassie ain't no God, man.
That's
Selassie was a what? He was running from Mussolini, yeah, that's it. Selassie worshipped Caesar Borgia as well, man. Caesar Borgia was Selassie's daddy, man. That's who Selassie to, man. Selassie was a what? He was an unorthodox Christian, right? It was an orthodox or unorthodox Christian. Read what you're holding again. And the reason why we want to follow that is because what? Read that. We have a zeal, but a lack of knowledge. Let me see if I can find more. Go ahead.
Selassie, I was gonna say something about Selassie, but I forgot now. Right, I'll ask in a minute if I remember. So, Romans chapter 10, verse 1. Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to God for Israel is that they might be saved. For I bear them record that they have a zeal of God, but not according to knowledge.
Listen, man, black people want to find God, want to serve God. But listen, man, we just got no knowledge. And Rastafarians want to serve God, but they've got no knowledge, man.
Right.
They want to serve God, but they got no knowledge. They believe smoking weed brings them closer to God. They believe passing the Dutchie on the left-hand side, pass the Dutchie on the left hand. Listen, I've seen a Rastaman thing pass the Dutchie on the left-hand side and passed it to the right. I've seen a Rastaman pass it to the right. I looked at him like, damn, this religion can't be true. It specifically says pass the Dutch to the left, and this nigga passed it to the right. Read that one more time. Let me see if I can find this part in this book that I'm looking for.
God, oh God. For they being ignorant of God's righteousness and going about to establish their own righteousness have not.
And now, this is the part about Bob Marley. How Bob Marley got what? Us into following this Rastafarian nonsense. And you know what the sad thing about it is? Bob Marley didn't believe in this himself, man. Bob Marley had you worship Selassie, and Bob Marley didn't worship Selassie himself. Let me read this. It says, by 1979, the overweight singer was already sick with cancer. In 1980, in a state of collapse and afraid he was about to die, Bob Marley was baptized into the Ethiopian Orthodox Church in a New York hotel room. He had been its secret benefactor in Jamaica for years. So Bob Marley took all of your money. You see all of that money that Bob Marley made off you. You see all them redemption songs is all I ever had. Listen, man, you was thinking about Bob Marley's telling you about redemption, and Bob Marley's telling you about one love, let's get together and be all right. Bob Marley didn't make sure you was all right. Bob Marley took your money, man. Bob Marley talking about turn your lights down low. All of these songs, listen, man. Bob Marley was taking all your money, man. Bob Marley talking about jamming. Meanwhile, he was taking all your money, man. And people worship Bob Marley like Bob Marley's some god. Right. Meanwhile, Bob Marley was the Christian church's secret benefactor for years. How was Bob Marley making all that money? By you buying his music. Not CDs back then, it was like records. It was records. By you buying all Bob Marley's records. You buy all these records, man. Bob Marley talking about what? I shot the sheriff. Bob Marley didn't shoot nothing, man. Bob Marley just took your money and gave it to Ethiopians, man. Bob Marley took your money and gave it to the Christian church, man. Meanwhile, you're meant to be this hardcore Rastafarian. Bun down Babylon. Bob Marley's helping build Babylon up, man. Bob Marley's supporting Babylon, man. Meanwhile, he's telling you in his songs, bun down Babylon. Bob Marley was a slick devil, man, that lied to you, man. Bob Marley was a slick devil that lied to you. Says he had been its secret benefactor in Jamaica for years, financing the construction of its church. So meanwhile, you thought Bob Marley was building up this Nyabingi nonsense that you're into. He didn't say that here. He said Bob Marley was building up the church, man. Bob Marley couldn't give a damn about your Nyabingi nonsense. Bob Marley couldn't give a damn about your Rastafarianism nonsense. He was building up the church. It says on Maxfield Avenue, says when he died in 1981, the Ethiopian Orthodox Church was to preside over his burial. You Rastafarians thought you was invited to Bob Marley's funeral. You thought you was going to be screaming Jah Rastafari at Bob Marley's funeral. Nah, man. Bob Marley didn't want none of that at his funeral. Bob Marley wanted a Catholic priest at his funeral, man. And I got it right here in the book. It says, Ethiopian Orthodox Church was to preside over his burial in a gorgeous ceremony of Coptic chants in Aramaic and Ge'ez, streaming incense and rows of priests holding beautiful carved silver crosses. Bob Marley wanted people at his funeral holding carved silver crosses. Where was the red, gold, and green line with the flag? Bob Marley didn't want the red, gold, and green line with the flag. Bob Marley didn't want the split behind his ear. Bob Marley didn't want that big Rasta hat that looks like a upside down Dutch pot. Bob Marley didn't want no men with that upside down Dutch pot on their head there. Bob Marley didn't want that. Bob Marley wanted Catholic priests to preside over his burial, man. And then this is another part in the book. It says, why did Bob Marley turn his back on the Rastas? Some say he had been so aware of his death that he no longer cared for denominations. And who else could have baptized him to prepare him for death? Meaning Bob Marley wanted these priests to prepare him for death. Bob Marley knew that smoking weed wasn't the way. He knew that Rastafarianism wasn't the way. But what Bob Marley did know is what? This Rastafarianism pays the bills, man. Same way H has stole your culture. H knows rapping about the stuff we live pays the bills, man. Listen, Bob Marley and H, there's no difference between them. There's no difference between Bob Marley, H, Eminem, and Hitler, man. They're all cousins, man. They're all brothers, man. They're all the same that do what? Capitalize off black culture, man. All heathens that capitalize off our culture, man. Capitalize off everything that we kick open the door for. They run through the door and claim that they've taken it to the next level. And this is why now Bob Marley will be named as the king of reggae. 100 years from now, Bob Marley is the king of reggae, man. There's a next part where it says, for the Rastas, however, it was a blow. Their ambassador, their prince, had gone to die in the arms of Jesus, man. Bob Marley was their ambassador and their prince. That claimed he was this and that, and he went to die in the arms of white Jesus, man. He went to die in the arms of this. He went to die in the arms of Caesar Borgia, man. Pull me up a picture of Bob Marley. Pull me up a picture of him. Let me get you whose arms he went to die in. Listen, man. Bob Marley that you thought was a rapper went to die in the arms. Bob Marley went to die in the arms of this devil right here, man. Is the feed too over? Slow down. Looks like it's slowed down. One second. Bob to die in the arms of this. You thought Bob Marley was pro-black? You thought Rastafarianism was a black movement? Well, the face of the Rastafarianism, which was Bob Marley, the king of reggae. This is whose arms he died in, man. He died in this man's arms right here, man. Listen, man, there's no difference between this man and Bob Marley. If you're a Rastafarian, this is who you really believe in, man.
That's right.
If you're a Rastafarian, this is who you really believe in, man.
Right.
The only difference is a Rastafarian would have this chair with an upside down Dutch pot and a split, man. That's the only difference that a Rastafarian would have. This is who Rastafarians really worship, but they don't know it. Read Romans 10:1 for me one more time.
Romans chapter 10 verse 1. Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to God for Israel is that they might be saved.
He prayed that Israel might be saved, man. Paul sinned the condition that these people wanted to find God. These people wanted to find God, but didn't have a clue because they had no knowledge, man. They had no knowledge. So they ended up what? Finding Leonard Howell that was in love with Hindus and in love with Ethiopia. And Leonard Howell did what? Put both of those things together, man. So Rastafarianism is a combination of Ethiopian culture and Hindu culture, and they've just pulled it all together and put it in one big ball, and that's what Rastafarianism is. Rastafarianism ain't our culture. Read that for me one more time.
Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to God for Israel is that they might be saved.
And it says what? His prayers for Israel that they might be saved, man.
Right.
And that's what we pray, that Israel might be saved, man. We hope Israel, we hope all our brothers could be saved, man. All our brothers and sisters. But we need to get out of these stupid ideologies and stop mixing with these damn other nations. But for time's sake, drop that. Give me a 2 Kings chapter 17, verse 18. Now, at the time of 2 Kings, we was kicked out of the land. And guess what? Africans then moved into the land. And over time, these Africans started to think that there was us. For time's sake, I'm going to paraphrase it. Just give me John. Give me John chapter 4 and verse 19. Actually,
okay, John.
The same thing which happened in 2 Kings is the same thing which happens right now in the UK. These Africans do what we do, and over time they start to believe that they're us now. In 2 Kings,
John
chapter 4 and verse 19. So these Hamites now, they was around us. They was around us. Now they're around us, and now they think they are us. Now they think they can do things how we do it. Whereas in 2 Kings, these Hamites was in Samaria for so long, that they don't thought there was us. Read for me.
Canada and Khan. Well, John chapter 4, verse 19. The woman says unto him, Sir, I perceive that thou art a prophet.
So this woman was a Hamite that lived there, because obviously her people was placed there when in 2 Kings the 17th chapter, and then after that there was like lions coming and eating them, so they had to get a priest. One of the priests came back, taught them all the laws, taught them about Jacob and so forth. So these people thought, okay, there was us. They thought they could size up, same like what the Africans is doing right now in the UK. They've learned a bit about us, and now they think they're us. This woman thinks she's one of us. She's going to the main man himself, Jesus Christ. Read on.
Our fathers worshipped in this mountain.
Hold on, she said what?
Our fathers worshipped in this mountain.
She said that our father. That right there is the equivalent to Burna Boy talking patois, man. That right there is the equivalent to WizKid talking patois, man. God. That right there is the equivalent to these Africans thinking they're us, man. These Africans dressing how we dress. These Africans stealing our culture. It's the equivalent to it. Our fathers. Listen, man, it ain't their fathers, man. Same like rap ain't their music, man. Same like the music that they sing ain't their music. It's ours, man. This woman's brightened out. This damn African brightened out of order. But our fathers. Listen, read on.
And ye say that in Jerusalem is the place where men ought to worship.
And she said, ye say Jerusalem's a place where men ought to worship. Go ahead.
Yahushua said unto her, Woman, believe me.
What did he say to her? He said, Woman, listen, he said it to a stern woman. Go ahead.
Woman, believe me, the hour cometh when ye shall neither in this mountain nor yet at Jerusalem worship the Father.
He's saying, listen, the time's coming when you ain't going to worship the Father. You know he's saying that to her because she ain't no Israelite, man. He's letting her know you ain't one of us. Jesus Christ didn't welcome everybody like your pastor does. Your pastor would have said, oh, you believe in God too. That's good. We all one. Jesus Christ said, woman, the hour cometh when you ain't going to be worshiping the Father because you're a damn African, man. You ain't worshiping what we worship, and he's going to tell her why. Read on.
Ye worship, ye know not what.
He said, ye worship, ye know not what. Listen, man, you Africans try and speak patois and you don't know what you're saying, man. You Africans try and rap and you don't know what you're rapping about, man. You East Indians try dress like us and you don't know what you're doing, man. Ye know not what, man. Read on.
We know what we worship for
listen,
salvation.
Listen, we know what we worship. We know what we're rapping about. We know what we're talking about. We know what we're doing. We know how we're dressing. You other nations copying us. You ain't got a clue. But listen, you Africans that think you're better than us, the hour's coming when you're going to see that you're not better than us, man. The hour's coming when what? The hour's coming when there's going to be no more Burna Boy, man. The hour's coming when there's going to be no more WizKid. The hour's coming when there's going to be no more Afro beats, man. That hour's coming, believe you, me. Read on.
We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews.
Oh, so her salvation is what?
For salvation is of the Jews.
And listen, man, We know what we doing and we know what we worship, man. And you ain't supposed to have no Hamite up in there with you, man. You ain't meant to have no Hamite next to you, man. You ain't meant to have none of these other nations with you, man. Salvation's for us, man.
That's right.
Salvation's for us, man. When them chariots come, we're gonna be on there. And listen, if you love Hamites, you're gonna be down there with them, man. You can stay with your Burner Boy while it's burning. His name's gonna be Burner Boy for a reason in that day, man. I'm gonna call him Burner Boy for a reason in that day, man.
Yeah.
Burner Boy had listen. One sec. For time's sake, let me see where I want to go. Give me Matthew chapter 5 and verse 13.
God,
Give me Matthew 5 verse 13.
Matthew chapter 5 verse 13. Ye are the salt of the earth.
Ye are the what?
Ye are the salt of the earth.
Says we the salt of the earth, meaning we give this earth flavor. But you know what's happened? We've gave these Hamites our salt, man. You see our talent. We've done shared it with these Hamites, man. To whereas now, they're getting paid all this money that you should be getting. But listen, I got some tweets from Burner Boy. I don't know if anyone was aware, but the other day they done a clash between Burner Boy and Popcorn. They said Popcorn. They said Burner Boy is better than Popcorn. They done one between WizKid and Vybz Kartel, the world boss, man, the greatest artist ever, man. And you know what they said? They said WizKid is better than Vybz Kartel. Listen. I nearly called fire down from heaven. Listen, I was going to call fire down from heaven. Listen, they said WizKid, some dumb African, is better than Kartel. And then once, let me read some of the posts. This is Burner Boy talking about Kartel. He goes, I will be tuned in on Sunday to see how you feel when my brother. The thing is this. He goes, I will be tuned in on Sunday to see how you feel when my brother WizKid kills you world boss. He's letting you know that he knows that we ain't the same as him. He goes, I feel bad about it though because I've been repping the Gaza a long time. But as I said, power has changed hands. Now he's saying Africans is better musically than us. Power has changed hands. Let me get the next one. And he said, power has changed hands. Accept and move on. I'll be number one before. You know it. And he said also, yeah, that's what he said. Now, that's what he said. He said WizKid is better than and then when you look on the comment board, Tazapuan, pull me up the population of Nigeria. So obviously the voting's rigged, and
I can't get Slack the other one. I can't get that.
No, it's no. I'll get it from here. Sorry, I'll get it from this side.
God.
Yeah, I'll get it from this side. Yeah, let's see if you can get it from this side.
I'll read this again while you wait another one.
Yeah, read that.
Khan. Ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt of lost its savior, wherewith shall it be salted?
Man, this is the problem, man. We lost our savior, man. We all our goodness, we want to give it away, man. So now, you see that clash that they had, Vybz Kartel versus WizKid, Popcorn versus Burner Boy. It weren't even about musical talent. You know what it was about? It was about nationality, man.
That's right.
It was about where you come from. These Nigerians, everyone from Nigeria was voting for Nigeria. Everyone from the Caribbean was voting for Popcorn and whatnot. So now we're going to look up the population. What's the population of Nigeria? And after, pull me up the population of Jamaica, because that's who was mostly online.
The population of Nigeria, 195.9 million.
The population of Nigeria is 195.5 million. So imagine, that's the numbers who's voting for WizKid. That's the numbers who's voting for Burner Boy. Pull up the population of Jamaica now.
5 million. 6, 2.
The population of Jamaica is what? Just under 3 million.
3.
Population of Jamaica, 2,935,000,000.
See, and listen, man, that's a big difference. So obviously the votes is going to say that WizKid won. But WizKid ain't nowhere close to world boss, man. Listen, I'm not even calling Vybz Kartel. I'm calling him world boss today, man. That's what I'm calling him today. Also, you know what? They're saying WizKid's better than Vibes Cartel. Listen, I got a tweet from WizKid right here. Guess what this tweet says? WizKid said, listening to my daily dose of Vibes Cartel, this dude helps my writing. Which WizKid's letting you know that Vibes Cartel's better than him.
That's right.
That's the tweet from 2010. That's the tweet from 2010. There's another tweet as well where he said that Vibes Cartel's the greatest. Where is it? Let me see if I can find it. He said Vibes Cartel's the greatest, which is letting you know that even these Hamites know that we're better than them at everything. Musically, rapping, we're better than them at everything.
Right.
So like you pull me up now and also another thing, if you don't know, WizKid copied Vibes Cartel to the T. Even there, he let you know that he copied Vibes Cartel. Give me Deuteronomy 28 and verse 33. Give me Deuteronomy 28 and verse 33.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 33. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up.
Listen, man, all our work and everything, they eat it up, man. All the hard work that we do, these nations eat it up. Listen, how are you going to come and say WizKid's better than Vibes Cartel, and Vibes Cartel's been killing the mic for at least almost, what, 20 years? 15, 20 years. So
he's studying Vibes Cartel, but Vibes Cartel is
exactly. Vibes Cartel don't know he exists. Pull me up Vibes Cartel's net worth. Let's look at Vibes Cartel's net worth. Tazapon, read that in the meantime. Remember, WizKid copied Vibes Cartel, you know, read that.
The fruit of thy land and all the labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always.
And listen, man, Vibes Cartel's been making these tunes for so many years. What's his net worth on there?
2 million.
Vibes Cartel's net worth is 2 million. Pull up WizKid's net worth. Tazapon, read that again. Tazapon, read that again. Tazapon, you there? It messed up. So now, Vibes Cartel's net worth was what? 2 million. And WizKid copied the hell out of Vibes Cartel. What's WizKid's net worth?
WizKid's net worth is estimated to be roughly $4 million.
Nah, that's the wrong one. It's 20 million as of 2020. There's the next one. You found it?
2020. It's right there.
The one where it's 20 million. Is it on there?
2020.
Nah, there's the next one. That's the wrong one, but there's one where WizKid's net worth is 20 million, man. How's Vibes Cartel's net worth only 2 million and he's been killing the mic for 20 years? Yeah, is it?
WizKid's net worth is said to be approximately 30 million.
Imagine that. WizKid copied the hell out of Vibes Cartel. And this is why we shouldn't give our salt to these other nations, man.
Right.
In us giving our salt to these other nations, guess what happens? They make a ton of money off us, man. WizKid's net worth is now 30 million and Vibes Cartel's net worth is 2 million. Why? Because we give our salt to these other nations, man. These other nations rob us blind, man. Give me Isaiah chapter 60 and verse 5. Let me make this the last one. These nations rob us blind, man. You know why? Because we give them our salt. Like you look up Storms' net worth and Wiley's net worth. Storms is robbing us blind, man. Burna Boy is robbing us blind, man.
Right.
Why? Because the salt that the Lord gave to us, man, we're giving it away. We teaching these other nations how to rap.
So that's the other one.
Other nations to do things we should be able to do. Read on.
Right. Isaiah, what is it?
Isaiah 60 and give me 1 second. Let me see where it is.
Come on.
1 second. Give me Isaiah 60 and verse 9. These nations is robbing us blind, man. Give me Isaiah 60 and 9.
Right. Isaiah chapter 60 verse 9. Surely the isles shall wait for me, and the ships of Tarshish first, to bring thy sons from far their silver and their gold with them.
And listen, that Hamites owe us all their silver and all their gold, man. Listen,
That's right.
You see that nice Rolex that K-Trap's wearing? I'll have that, man. See that
That's
Rolex
right.
Burnable's wearing? I'll have that, man. You see that Rolex Dave's wearing? I'll have that, man. Because they stole our culture. And everything that they've got is on the back of stealing our culture. You see, if Hamite stuck to whatever they was doing, it wouldn't make no money, man. But because we the sort of life and everybody loves what we do, they've learned from us and stole our whole culture, man. Read on.
Khan, silver and their gold with them unto the name of the Lord thy God and the Holy One of Israel, because he has glorified thee.
Go ahead.
And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee.
Them heathens are going to work. They're going to get to work. You know why? They've stole everything from us, man. It says a nation that thou knowest not shall eat up all thy labors. Vybz Kartel's been singing for 20 years, man. Wizkid's probably like 8-9 years in, and his net worth 30 million. And Vybz Kartel's is 2 million. Nah, man, there's something wrong there. They're robbing us blind, man.
That's
robbing us blind, man. Read on.
Khan, they shall minister unto thee, for in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor I have had mercy on thee.
Go ahead.
Khan, therefore thy gate shall be open continually. They shall not be
continually. You know why? Because Burna Boy needs to bring all the millions back that is robbed of us, man.
Right.
The people needs to bring the millions back, man. Dave needs to bring the millions back. K-Trap, J-Hoss, all these people that have stolen our culture, they're going to have to bring everything back, man. You think they're getting away with all this? Nah, man. They're making money off the back of us. Read on.
That's right. Khan, they shall not be shut day nor night. That men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles.
Forces of the Gentiles. Listen, man. These Gentiles is going to bring everything to us, man. People talking about, oh yeah, the best gold comes from Africa. Guess what? I'm having all of that, man. I'm having all of that, man. You're gonna see a Hamite bring me tons of gold, man. We getting everything back, man. And it's only right we get everything back because they've robbed everything off us, man. And this is why, you know who else robbed everything off us? The Egyptians. And that's why when we left Egypt, we spoiled them, man. That's why we took all the gold when we left Egypt. We took everything when we left Egypt, man. Because these nations rob us blind. You mean to tell me, we're still suffering? You mean to tell me we're still suffering? Meanwhile, Vybz Kartel's been singing for 20 years and Wizkid and Akon can just put lights in the whole of Africa based on stealing our culture. Listen, man, to how with these heathens, man. Go ahead, was you going to say something?
Right. Select the other one.
Go ahead.
Oh, lost it. I lost the train of thought. I lost the train of thought.
Read that. Read verse 12.
That their kings may be brought. Verse 12, Salakia, verse 12. For the nations and kingdom that will not serve thee.
Listen, there's coming a time where what? These Africans is going to know their place, man.
That's right.
These Chinese know their place, man. These Edomites are going to know their place, man. Because now they don't know their place. But the time's coming when they're going to know their place, man. Read on.
Khan. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish.
Go ahead.
Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted.
And listen, man, those people that don't want to serve us is going to be wasted, man. Listen, now's the time for them to have their fun, but the time's coming when what? They're going to be utterly wasted, man. Thinking they're better than us. Thinking they can run their mouth about us. Talking about the power's changed hands now. Nah, man. The Lord's going to show them the power's never going to change hands, man.
That's right.
The Lord's going to show them we run this thing, man. You know what? Let's not let me get carried away. Let me do the Lord's Prayer and get out of here because I can talk about Ham all day. That brings us to the end of the class.
I.S.U.P.K security announcement. The I.S.U.P.K started at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding Gen.YAHANNA. Rules for a new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will call each other After the 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers 18:21. Malachi 3 and 8 to 10 means 10th in the Hebrew ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department or the teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocations is first week. Or I can check the bulletin board in the hallway and check all I.S.U.P.K social media. If anyone wants to be treated in the school, start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, and headband and headscarf. And with that, I imagine. Right, the East and the Lord's Prayer. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Chumka, Yahweh, Malak of God, Daba'ah, Ratazaka, Hayah, I.S.U.P.K, Ba'aratazah, Kawal, Hayah, Bar Shemayim, Nafaninawa, Lakam, Kal, Yawam, Wasalakinawa, Kabawakinawa, Kasalakinawa, Kabawakinawa, Wala'ah, Sabi Ainawa, Wala Sayawan, Abba, Hawashainawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Waha'ala, Waha'apara, La'iwalamya, Aman.
In the English, our Father, art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever.
So be. And with that, without any one case, the teacher, men of Israel, I Mother Shabbat, I Mother, Barak, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shalom, Yahweh class dismissed.